Hey everybody, I've got something really cool for you today. So a while back, I was asked by a friend here in Oklahoma City, a friend and fellow Stephen King collector and member of the Stephen King book club that I go to, Angel, if I would come to her house, kind of look over her collection and help determine exactly what she had, what was valuable, what was maybe not so valuable. She had duplicates of things, what she should keep and what she should let go, that kind of thing. Of course, I was all about this, super excited to do this and to help Angel out. And she had some really, really cool things in her collection. In fact, a few things that I had never actually seen in person and which I was really excited to finally get a chance to hold in my hands and look over. And Angel was so kind as to lend me, for purposes of this video, her 25th anniversary gift edition of It from Cemetery Dance, published in 2011. So that's what we're going to do in this video. It's going to be kind of a special show and tell for those of you who, like me, have maybe heard of this book and seen pictures of it, but never actually seen one in person. I'm going to look it all over, show you all the things, tell you what I know about it, and then also sort of move the camera so it's above, facing down, and we will take a look at all of the artwork and illustrations contained therein. So stick with me, I'll be right back. So in 2011, Cemetery Dance released the 25th anniversary of It in 3 states. So this is the basic, that was the least expensive state, the gift state. There were 2,750 copies, and it originally sold for $125. So $125 in 2026 money would be $180. So inflation has definitely played a part in this, but I would think, especially considering the increased fame and attention on it based on the popular feature films as well as the TV show Welcome to Derry, that if Cemetery Dance released this book now, the asking price would probably be more in the $225 to $250 range, and they would get that all day long. So in comparison, $125 in 2011 is actually a pretty good deal. The book was also released in a numbered signed edition, signed by King, 750 copies, which was sold at $475, and the lettered edition, which we show in a different video, which Noah has, and I'll link to that video in the description to this video, 52 copies, which originally sold for $2,000. So while Stephen King limited editions are almost always a really solid investment because they appreciate in value over time, the It limited edition from Cemetery Dance really sticks out as being a particularly good investment in hindsight. So this was $125, or inflation adjusted $180, and now this thing, you could sell this book, you know, at the lowest end, an amazing deal for this would probably be $800, but it sells for around $1,000 all day long. So that's a massive return on investment. And that is one of the main reasons why, even when I was in the thick of my collecting, I never picked one of these up, because $1,000 just puts it way out of most people's price ranges. So the first thing you notice, obviously, right off the bat, is how big this book is. So by comparison, there is more of your standard late period Stephen King trade hardcover. So the average one is about 9 inches tall and 6 inches wide, and the Cemetery Dance limited editions are oversized, come in at 7 inches by 10. So right out of the gate, it just has an imposing presence because of its oversized trim. If you pop the book out of the slipcase, it has this beautiful full color wrap around jacket artwork. It says "It, the 25th Anniversary Special Edition." Very cool representation of Pennywise there. Obviously inspired by the miniseries with Tim Curry. Remember, the movies were still several years in the future. So that was the overarching pop culture visual reference for Pennywise, was Tim Curry. There's the spine, the back jacket, the graffiti says Pennywise lives. So you pop the jacket off and you can kind of see the full wraparound effect. Really, really nice piece of work. And there are the inside flaps. So underneath the jacket, the book is bound in this kind of brown leather that matches exactly the finish on the slipcase. It's the inside of the slipcase. Nothing wrong with that. That's also pretty typical for Cemetery Dance. So 2-color foil stamping, it in red, everything else in gold. Looks really nice. Plain Jane green Endpapers. Nothing wrong with that. Looks pretty good. So as you go up in the trims and the finishes and the price between this and the signed limited and the lettered edition, things like the cases, things like the end papers, the quality goes up and requires a lot more handmade craftsmanship. But the inside contents of the book are the same between all of the trim sizes. So it really is just a matter of appearance, but everything that you can get in the $2,000 in 2011 lettered edition, all of the printed contents that you can actually read are to be found in this volume as well. It is worth mentioning that this volume, this release, features artwork from 3 different artists. So the cover, this one, was by Glenn Orbick. The interior color artwork was by Alan Clark, and the interior black and white artwork was by Aaron Wells. And I believe all 3 of those artists, as well as, of course, Stephen King, signed the signed limited and the lettered editions. This gift edition is not signed by anybody. There's the table of contents, which is really handy. Everything is kind of color-coded there. Nice 2-color printing. There's black and red. Table of contents continued. And then as you get into the contents of the story itself, the 2-color printing continues. So the sections are actually color-coded, which is really cool. You can see on the edge of the page block, there are red sections and there are black sections. So each band of red is part of the overall sort of forward narrative, and then the black sections are the interludes that break through the narrative throughout the book. So the main part of the story has red on the edges, and the interludes have black. Really nice touch there. And it's black with red printing, whereas the red sections are red with black printing. That's a really, really attractive and interesting feature for the design and layout of this book. And it's a little bit different than anything else I'm familiar with. I might be mistaken, but that just adds so much extra color and design touch to this book, which is really nice. One of the really cool selling points of this edition is that it contains an original afterword by Stephen King that is unique to this release. It's not very long, about 3.5 pages, but it is welcome and appreciated. So that's about it on the overall design, layout, and features of this book. So give me a second to readjust my camera. I'll be right back and we will take a look at the interior artwork.
And now a word about our sponsor.
For over 20 years, StephenKingCollector.com has been the internet's go-to source for all things Stephen King. From breaking news and real-time sales updates from around the internet, to forums where you can connect with like-minded collectors, to information about first editions as well as highly sought-after and rare limited editions, StephenKingCollector.com has it all. Additionally, the collector sells custom slipcases to protect your most valuable and cherished treasures. The collector now offers book sales directly through the website and an all-around upgraded and improved payment system. With improvements and updates happening on a regular basis, there's always something new to see and experience at StephenKingCollector.com. The link to the site is in the description for this video. You should go check it out. You'll be glad you did. Okay, so as we go through this, remember that the color interior artwork was by Alan Clark, and the black and white interior artwork was by Aaron Wells. Oh man, the infamous black spot scene, which was so prominently and powerfully featured in season 1 of Welcome to Derry. Man, one of the most intense, gut-wrenching scenes in any book or show or movie that I've ever seen. The infamous fortune cookies scene from the Chinese restaurant. It's one of my favorite scenes from the miniseries. That's a cool effect, a black and white illustration and a color illustration back to back. It's about to enter its lair. There have been all kinds of different artistic styles employed in the Stephen King illustrated special editions over the decades, and I tend to usually gravitate more toward and respond better to the more naturalistic illustration styles as opposed to the kind of more out there styles that I've seen in other editions. And it really fits the bill for that. I really, really liked the artwork in it. So I think that's about it for this one. This is definitely one of the most deluxe, handsome, well-conceived, well-produced limited editions that I've ever seen, and a worthy testament to what is arguably Stephen King's most famous work, with, I would say at this point, definitely the biggest lasting pop culture impact. So remember in 2011, all we had was the miniseries from TV with Tim Curry, which I thought was still really good, but definitely you have to qualify that good for TV. It was really good for what it was. And since this has been published in the past 15 years, it has just exploded with the two movies and of course the Welcome to Derry TV series, which makes this just definitely one of the crown jewels of any collection. So, like a lot of things with Stephen King collecting, I wish I had a time machine so I could go back in time and pick one of these up for $125, which was just a fantastic deal. And even inflation adjusted, if this came out today at $180, it would still be a really good deal. But in terms of dropping $800, $1,000, even more on this, yeah, that is never going to happen for me. So I'm really, really grateful that my friend Angel entrusted me with this crown jewel. She was really funny talking about how in 2011 she kind of had almost a panic attack about spending $125 on any one book, which is far and away more than she had ever spent on a book before. But of course, like with a lot of things related to Stephen King limited editions, it proved to be a worthwhile investment, and the book has grown in value exponentially since that time. So, yeah, special thanks to Angel for lending me this book and allowing me to show it and share it with the viewers of the channel. Special thanks as well, as always, to channel sponsor Thomas over at skcollector.com. Special thanks to channel members Mark, Nick, Tom, Steve, Adam, Ken, Balrog, Jesus, Heart92, and Catnip. If you're interested in becoming a member of the channel, there's a link to do that in the description to this video, as well as on the homepage of the channel itself. So I hope this has been interesting for you. I hope that you've had as much fun watching this as I have had making it. And for now, from me to you, wherever you are in the world, take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you later. Bye.